We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
And away we go.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of High School Famous, the podcast that always intros right off the jump. I'm Sean.
I'm Matt. Wow, just took the reins there, just went for it.
I did. I didn't know if we were just going to like slosh our way through some crud before we get to the meat.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that we didn't even do an intro last week, so there you go.
Ooh, you know what? I listened and I don't remember if we did or not. We might not have.
I don't think we did.
Last night was kind of, or last night. Oh my God. Last episode.
Take 3.
Last episode, I'm tired. Last episode was kind of a bit of a squabble. It was scattered. Scattered.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of our episodes are kind of scattered.
Well, last time was a little more so just because, A, we didn't come to anything, we didn't have anything brought to the table, and B, we had our connection issues, and so the conversation was maybe not as smooth. But actually, listening back to it, it didn't seem that bad.
No, I think in the moment it always seems worse than it ends up being.
Yeah, I mean,
Plus,
the only time it's really noticeable. The only time it was really noticeable is when we were referencing that it was bad, you know? So.
Right. And then what's funny is the fact that the chunk that was bad, nobody is going to even know where or when it was, because the way I just cut that chunk out and you had repeated something you had said. So I got a nice edit in there and it was very seamless. So nobody's ever going to be able to tell where it was.
The way you masterfully edited.
Yeah, I'm getting better, you know.
Yeah. You got your 1,000 hours in?
Half the credit goes to you for so seamlessly like saying what you had previously said to the point where it matched up very nicely. So
was that? I didn't do that intentionally, right?
No, I think you just repeated yourself because I hadn't heard you. So you're just like, so as I said, and you repeated yourself. So I just kind of cut it in a nice, clean way.
Oh, very good.
So if anybody really wants to find it, there's a point where Sean says "secondly," and that's the second half of the audio.
Hey, yeah.
So there you go.
If you, do that. I'm sure you want to re-listen to it if you already have, just to find that spot.
Or if you're listening to this episode, or you listen to the previous episode, where anyway.
So is this episode going to be talking? So this episode, we're going to talk about last episode, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's the inevitable flashback episode of every sitcom
show. It's the clip show, but we're only going to reference one episode ago.
No, I think that should be episode 100, is that me and you will go through and we're going to pick our favorite moments out of the previous 99 episodes.
All right.
And then we'll talk about those moments, and then people can hear those again without having to go back and listen, you know?
Yeah. And that will be, I mean, we only have about 29 more episodes before that.
That's true.
Episode. So we gotta, oh man, you're giving me a lot of work here.
Yeah, you only have 29 weeks to prepare.
Yeah, but to listen back on what will be 99 previous episodes.
Well, I mean, you can skim.
A lot of work.
You can skim. I mean, you might have if you go back and just read descriptions of the episodes, you might remember oh yeah, that one we talked about this, and I remember this moment being great. And then if any of our listeners would love to email us and, let us know what some of their favorite bits are from which episodes that they enjoy, then they can take some of the work off of our hands.
Yeah. And maybe you'll even get a shout out. We'll say, hey, this clip was, a favorite of so-and-so's. So let's listen to it now.
hey, I'm going to go ahead and say, not only maybe will you, 100% you will get a shout out if you pick a clip for us to do in a 100th episode clip episode. Whatever we'll call it, something. We'll come up with a better title.
We'll come up with something real clever.
Yeah, we're still workshopping the idea.
This is my first time hearing of it, so yes, we are.
There you go.
You're working out. We're ironing out the wrinkles. We're working out the kinks. We might keep some kinks in there depending on what kind of mood we're in.
I mean,
Matt, do you like things with?
We're yeah. I think we are a kink friendly.
We're a kink friendly podcast. Yeah.
Yep. So
I suppose
So Sean, hi. I don't know. I didn't really have anything. I was just.
Oh, good.
Hey, I don't know.
So everyone, I am in the lovely Omaha, Nebraska at the moment.
It was a long pause.
I literally just
like
got
you were
here.
Trying to remember.
I kind of was. Okay. I just got here probably 30 minutes before we started doing this.
Nice.
So I will be here tonight. I will be here all of tomorrow and tomorrow night. And then I will head back to Minneapolis on Sunday.
Okay. So you are, you'll spend 2 nights in the hotel then?
Yeah.
I suppose you didn't want to do like another overnight drive.
Well, I didn't do any overnight drive, but...
Oh, you drove this morning?
Yeah, I stayed in Chicago. I stayed the night in Chicago, left this morning here. I drove straight here.
Okay. How long of a drive is that?
That was about 7 hours.
Yuck.
Yeah. Well, it was either that or drive more than that. Like I could have gone home and spent the rest of today at home and then drove to Omaha from home tomorrow, but that's more time in the car.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just kick it here tomorrow. I'll just kick it in Omaha tomorrow.
Kicking it old school or
yeah. Well, yeah. It's all new to me, so it's new school here.
I suppose.
I might go see. I might find time to go see the Batman, the new.
I mean, will you have to find time to do it?
Vampire Batman movie.
I mean, you'll have time to do it. You won't necessarily.
I will have time to do it.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I've already got a good collection of time to use up tomorrow, so I will make. How about this? I'll make time to go see the Batman.
You won't have to even make time.
I could just lay around
there.
I could just lay around in the hotel and do nothing.
Well, yeah,
I mean, get myself out and go specifically drive to a movie theater somewhere that I find and buy a ticket for The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. The Batman.
What other information do you have?
What?
What other information about the movie do you have?
It also stars Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, and I don't know the name of the guy who plays the Riddler.
Perfect.
Yes, and there's another guy. There are other people in the movie too. I just don't know.
I would assume it would be really weird if it was just like 5 people, no one else.
Yeah. Now, since Robert Pattinson is very famous for playing a vampire, and now he's playing Batman, is he is this version of Batman a vampire bat?
I'm gonna say no, because I think that it's a completely different movie that has nothing to do with his previous franchise that he really doesn't even want to be remembered
associated with. Yeah.
Well,
we don't know. It's up in the air. I have not read any reviews on the movie. So I guess
on purpose
sort
or
of. Okay. I guess a mixture of I just haven't thought to look into it. I did avoid a podcast that I'm subscribed to that is a heavy spoiler review of the movie. I've avoided listening to that since it dropped a couple of days ago.
Right.
With the intent to go see the movie before listening to the podcast. So that's as much as I've done to avoid, any kind of information on the movie now that it's out. So, but with that said, that means that it very well could possibly be tied in with the Twilight saga somehow.
I'm still gonna assume no.
I mean, if there's a Kristen Stewart cameo,
it's Taylor Lautner.
Huh?
Taylor Lautner.
Who's that?
He was the wolf.
Oh,
he was the shirtless boy.
you must be Team Jacob.
I don't pick teams.
Oh, you're an equal opportunity fanboy.
Oh yeah, I'm kink friendly.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
So you're into vampire and wolf foreplay, little group action.
I mean, there's plenty of holes to go around.
There are plenty of
So Sean, I mean, you've talked about how you were in Chicago and now you're in Omaha and then you're going to be back in Minneapolis, but you didn't say why. Why are you on this journey? This soul searching, finding yourself journey?
Well, you just said it. It's a soul searching, find myself kind of journey. I'm doing some traveling for pleasure.
That's ominously vague.
Yes, it's not for business, right?
Well, no, unless you found a way to make money while you were doing this.
I have not.
Oh,
I've made no money despite my offerings. Actually, scratch that. I did sell one thing. I
was going to ask.
I have made money. Anyway,
did you make a friend?
I'm going to some concerts. Concerts, Tool concerts. So Chicago, Omaha, Minneapolis, and then Moline, Illinois.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Those are the 4 shows I'm going to. Little mini tour, kind of repeating.
So you sold your ticket last night?
Yeah. But the funny thing is, so I just sold it through Ticketmaster, right?
Oh, okay.
And someone bought it. Usually they say you get paid within 7 days after the event. So I'm still waiting to actually get paid for it, but nobody came. Nobody sat next to me. So
weird.
I don't know what the deal is there, but theoretically I've sold the ticket and will get money for it, but whoever bought it, if someone bought it, didn't bother to come to the show. So I don't know what the motive was there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I mean, win-win for you in that situation, I guess. I mean, you didn't have to have somebody sit next to you, but at the same time, you are going to get your money back. So,
well, worst case scenario, I already paid for the ticket, so I just continue to have paid for the ticket and not do anything. And I went to, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to try anymore to see if anyone wants to go to these because no one seems to really want to. So I was just going to it'd make financial sense to just put all the extra tickets I have up for sale.
Right.
But then I went to sell the Nebraska and Moline, Illinois show tickets, but they both say they're not eligible for resale.
Oh,
so
lovely.
I won't be able to do it through Ticketmaster. I could find a way outside of it to maybe sell them to someone, and then I can just transfer that ticket within Ticketmaster to that person. That way Ticketmaster wouldn't take their cut of the sale anyway if I did it that way.
Right.
So I might tinker with that. I don't know how I would go about doing it. Maybe Facebook Marketplace.
I wonder if you could do it through
like that.
Yeah, or through StubHub or something. But I know StubHub will give you a fee. But
can that be done if do you have to buy the tickets initially through StubHub in order to be able to sell them through StubHub? I don't know if I've tried to do that.
I have no idea. But I mean, I don't know.
I guess we'll see. I can look into it tomorrow. Something else I can do tomorrow is look into how I can try to get those tickets.
But where will you find the time?
Where will I find the time? I mean, The Batman is it's almost 3 hours long. Did you know that?
It's a movie. So yeah.
Got it.
I mean, that's it now. Movies, if it's, well, I shouldn't say that's it for all movies, but if it's a comic book movie nowadays, or I don't know, anything associated with a huge book franchise, you can't get a movie under 3 hours long anymore.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say between 220 and 240 is probably the average now.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a movie under 2 hours these days.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
So last night I went to the show. Well, first I got in. I checked at the hotel. It's called the Found Hotel.
Okay.
And they say that you have to just park in front of one of those empty spots on the street in front of the hotel to check in. which
Okay.
those, of course, were all full. So I just took a left at the end of the block and parked on this empty street there near a parking pay station. So I should have paid to park where I was, but I just walked in, checked in, and then they have this lot that they use that they like give their guests a deal. So you pay a one-time fee to park there for the duration of your stay. I think it's a per day or a per diem fee. But so I paid that, and then I drove to park there. It was about 3 blocks away at least. So not most convenient, but I should have. I was so worried about just getting checked in and going, so I wouldn't get ticketed for parking where I was without paying. So I didn't bring my bags in and actually go into the room before I parked. So then I drove the 3 or 4 blocks away, parked, and then I had to drag my suitcase and walk the 4 blocks to get to the hotel. And then I had to do that again when I left. So anyway, yeah. So I went to the show. I didn't really sit in and watch the opening act. I just kind of hung out around the stadium. I was seeing if I was interested in buying any food or anything to drink or anything, and I didn't end up doing that. But I just didn't feel like sitting around a bunch of people and listening to some group I've never heard of. So I did. I listened to them a little bit, and they're just, you're sort of run-of-the-mill rock band that doesn't sound any bit unique in any way, and so it's a little like, why? I don't know why do it if you're not going to have your own kind of sound. Like, why are you making music? But maybe people aren't in it for the art or the expression. They're in it for writing easy songs just to make easy money. Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to tell nowadays.
Yeah,
music's not what it used to be.
So I was going to have to pay to park at the stadium, and I'm like, gosh, I already paid to park at the hotel, and the amount to pay to park at the stadium would have been at least the amount it would cost me to Uber to the stadium. And so I just opted to Uber to the stadium because if I didn't want to have to worry about driving back. But naturally, once the concert got out, and I didn't realize this, but Chicago around 11 p.m., at least during the week, it must just be during the week, just kind of shuts down. Or at least it was the area I was in.
Probably the area around the stadium.
Yeah, so it was like everything was shut down. The only people that were out were the people leaving the concert. And so there was a bunch of like ride services just kind of hanging out, like trying to offer people rides to somewhere.
Right.
And I wasn't interested in that. But coincidentally, Uber prices went way up. So, looking at least about 3 times, sometimes more than 3 times the amount I paid to get a ride to the stadium.
Jesus.
So I just, I looked up the walking time, a 57-minute walk, and it was, 20 something degrees out and a little bit of snow. But I'm like, what do I got nothing to do. So I just started walking. I'm like, I'll start walking. Eventually the price will go down and I'll just be that much closer when I do book a ride. So I ended up walking for about 40 minutes. So then I ended up booking a pretty cheap ride the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So it worked out. Spent the night in the hotel, got up, just got dressed, laid around for a few minutes, and then I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And I got in the car, drove here, sat down, started talking to you. That's my day. That's been my day so far.
Right.
Add in one stop to a gas station and then one stop into a drive-through at the same time, just to take care of that stuff, get some food in me, get some gas, go to the bathroom, then rest of the way, zip it here. So it's been a pretty uneventful day.
Did you listen to any Tool in the car on the way to Omaha?
No.
Okay, good.
I've never been someone that did that. Like, I've never been someone to wear a shirt of the band I'm going to see. I've never been like, ooh, we're on the way to this show. Let's listen to that music. Or after the show, let me listen to that music of the concert. The same music that I just heard in the concert. I've never done that. I remember in high school, whenever there would be a concert in town, the next day, anybody who went there wore the shirt that they bought at the concert the night before, you could just tell. You could just handpick from the crowd who was at the same show you were at the night before.
Right.
I don't recall ever doing that either. The idea of wearing a shirt of the band you're going to see baffles me because you're there to see them. That should already tell people that you're a fan of this group, and you're not going to run into the band and be able to like sit and have a chat with them unless you have special access. So it's not like and even if they saw you wearing their shirt, I'm sure they're just going to like not care because it's not, you're not unique. You're not like this standout fan that, oh my gosh, you love us so much. You wore a shirt to our show. You're one of every single, there's 40,000 people in this crowd and you are one of the 40,000 that are wearing a shirt of ours. Good for you. Like they don't care.
I'm
so
surprised.
I don't know.
I'm surprised we never. Yeah, I'm surprised we never were like, because we're already assholes. But I'm surprised we were never the assholes that would like go to a concert and see people, like go to a Tool concert specifically, see people wearing Tool shirts, not from that tour. Because I could see you buying a shirt at the tour and then putting it on. Like I could see you doing that.
Sure, but just so you don't have to carry it.
But I can't. But I could never see. Like I'm surprised we never were like, if somebody was wearing a Tool shirt from either just a regular Tool shirt or from a previous tour or something, and we were at a Tool show and just be like, oh no way, you like Tool? Oh, surprised we never did that.
Yeah, well,
because that would be.
I think a better, funnier thing is it is back then when we thought we were more funny. When we thought dumber stuff was funny. But all it would do is just we would chuckle to ourselves and it would just piss people off. And, depending on how many people are with them, that could be bad news for us. But I think it'd be better to like get on someone about wearing a shirt from the wrong tour. Oh, dude, you wore the wrong shirt. That shirt's from 6 years ago.
That's old. That is an old tour.
Idiot. God. Yeah. And I also cannot justify. I know I have done it, but I can't even remember how many times. But I can't justify buying a tour shirt. A t-shirt, a decent t-shirt costs like $20, but you're going to spend $50 because you're at a show for a shirt.
Right.
It's like it's a shirt.
Got all the tour dates on it.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think I remember specifically like when you would buy merch at a concert, I think you usually specifically looked for a non-tour shirt.
Yeah, I want to say, I think I used to have, gosh, did I buy a Smashing Pumpkins? Remember that Smashing Pumpkins show you and I went to?
Oh, God, yeah, that sit-down only one or whatever.
Right, where your sister and her friend came and they were beyond obnoxious during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got a shirt from that show and it might have been one that had the dates on it. I don't remember. Either way, I don't have it anymore if I did, but plus, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of like really loud, busy shirts. And a lot of times band shirts seem to have like a big, gigantic logo and just image over the front and back of it. I was like, give me a little subtle logo somewhere. That's more my style. So I'm really not interested.
I want the logo to be so subtle that you almost can't even see it. I want it to be dark gray on black.
I want it to be on the inside of the shirt. Can you do that?
Yeah.
No, there was a Tool shirt at a show I went to a few years ago, and I wish I would have bought it because it was a real low key cool shirt.
Yeah.
But I still didn't opt to get it. I think it was $40 or $45.
Yeah, stuff's just too expensive nowadays.
It's nuts.
It's like you're already paying $100 something for the tickets to the show. Now you're paying another $40 to $50 for a shirt or a patch or whatever the fuck. And then if you're hungry or thirsty at the show, then you're paying another fucking like $25, $30 to eat and drink something.
That's it too. Like I wanted to get something to eat and something to drink, but I'm like, there's always lines. And it's the prices are going to be inflated like crazy. So I'm like, I can sit through a 2-hour show and not eat or drink anything and just worry about that afterward. So I'm not someone who needs things to enjoy the show more, Yeah.
But then afterwards, you realize that everything was shut down around you, so you couldn't even.
Yeah, and I walked off all the food I didn't eat.
Right.
So Inside the hotel, there's this little bar, so I stopped in there and had a drink afterward, and then went up to my room.
There you go.
So
that was the Thursday night saga of Sean.
Correct. Thursday night. Tomorrow is the Omaha show. Sunday is the Minneapolis show.
Yeah. So by the time people are hearing this, Sean has seen Tool 3 times.
Correct. In a week, in a few days, in a 4-day time period. Yeah. And the following Thursday is the last show. So,
I wonder how much, if at all, that the songs are gonna, like, what different songs are they gonna play?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I bet you at least there'll be one variation.
Yeah.
Maybe two, and it's hard to say because for example, I don't know if there's a show tonight somewhere else, where they might change it up from last night. But then by the time they get here tomorrow, maybe they'll go back to what Thursday's show's set list was. Maybe I'm going to see the exact same show. I don't know.
It's like every other show is a little different, and you just happen to fall on everyone that's exactly the same.
Luckily, Saturday and Sunday have 2 in a row, so I hope to get a little bit of a variation between those two. So I don't know. I haven't looked and see. I had not looked and seen what they had been playing this time around. So I assume
about half of it's the new album.
Yeah, pretty much. They played all but one song off the new one last night.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
what song? I'm assuming they didn't play the whatever chocolate trip or whatever the hell.
Yeah, they didn't play that, but I don't really count that as a
song.
Although I realized after the album came out and I heard that, I'm like, this sounds familiar. And a couple years ago, they played that. He did that exact thing at a show way before the album came out. So I technically have seen them. I've seen the drummer do that song before the album came out. But they didn't do that one. But I wouldn't have counted that on the.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a song. I would say he did do a drum thing, and I kind of would call it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like Chocolate Chip Trip version 2.0 or something. Like it was. There was this weird sort of technic type of what do you call it? Like electronic backing sounds that he ended up playing to, and so it was a little more elaborate than the what's on the album. So
gotcha.
Yeah, they didn't play that the last one, that 15-minute long one.
I don't know what the last song is on the album. Isn't Tempest? Isn't Tempest the last song on the album?
Yeah. They didn't do that.
Okay, so they're not. Let's not play the song we won the Grammy for. Okay,
right. I mean, they have played that, so I might see them do it at one of these other shows, but they just didn't do it last night. So
interesting.
Quite.
Yeah.
But I will say this: it was so refreshing to go to one of their shows and not hear 46 and 2 and not hear Stinkfist. I'm like,
did they play Anima?
No, that either. They didn't play that either.
Oh wow!
I was like, that's fine.
I heard they just recently played like Undertow for the first time in like 20-something years live.
They played that last night.
There you go.
So that was cool because I've not seen them play that before. So that was a bonus.
I always missed. I missed because you had told me that they used to, for a long time, they would almost close every show with Jerk Off, and I don't think I've ever heard them play that live.
Well, that's because we didn't start going to see them until 2001.
Right.
And I happened to go to Ozfest 98 where I saw them close with that back then.
Gotcha.
But after that, they just haven't played that song again.
Yeah.
So
it's such a good song to end with too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's largely, it's like, I'm sure this Maynard's like, yeah, I'm in my 50s now, so I'm not going to do that one anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe someday they'll revive it, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because there's rumor mill going around that this could be the last time they tour too. So. Oh,
is that right?
Potentially. I mean, if you think about it too, like 13 years between the last two albums, they're all in their 50s. It easily could be their last tour.
Well, so here's some inside baseball.
Ooh, sports.
No, so this is the kind of baseball that breaks windows and lamps is what I'm trying to get at. This album was the third album in their 3-album contract that I signed way back in like 1999 or something like that.
Oh, when they signed when they did before Lateralis and
yeah, so they one of the reasons that Lateralis was a little bit of a delay coming out, 5 years. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Which seems like nothing now for them, but they were, they had some legal issues with their label. And so they worked it out and they ended up, I forget, either way, whatever they ended up agreeing on locked them into a 3-album commitment.
Okay.
But they were like, we can release these 3 albums whenever we want. Like, we're not beholden to any kind of deadline for these. And so this was finally the third of 3. So they're not contractually obligated to make any more music. Right. And I know that the other 3 guys will be like, yeah, let's make another one. But I just don't know if Mr. Triple Band winemaker, whatever else he does, is going to be like, I want to do more.
But here's the thing, like, if the other 3 write the music, it takes nothing for him to then come in and be like, all right, let me listen to this, write some lyrics, and then spend a couple days recording vocals.
Yeah, it really would not. Yeah, you're right. It's not a lot of work on his part. So,
yeah, it's really the other 3.
I mean, I can see them, because there was something that came out where the drummer was, not long after this last album came out, they was like, yeah, we've got a lot of material that could be a follow-up.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They basically have enough material to do another album right now.
Yeah, so who knows? I mean, the time will tell. I think it's so uncertain that when this, they had the tour scheduled and then it all got canceled because COVID. They didn't post new dates or reschedule it. They just canceled it and refunded everybody. So, once this came back around, and I'm like, who knows? I mean, the COVID has proved that you don't know what can happen. So you don't know what to expect, or you can't just expect that something's guaranteed. So I'm like, I have the kind of the opportunity again to just sort of lock in and see him as many times as I can, just in case.
Yeah.
It's the final hurrah. Who knows? But they seem to be high energy and they definitely don't seem like they're tired of it. Or they're like burnt out on this stuff. They were pretty high level. So it was pretty cool. So who knows?
Well, yeah, we'll see what's, Saturday then Sunday show.
Well, yeah,
but the Sunday show is a little less energy than the Saturday show.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not like it's not like last night's show was their first show of this tour. They've been going for a little while already. So
man, I remember I think there was 2 different times that we saw Perfect Circle. One time was the first show of a tour, and then one time was the last show of a tour.
Yes.
And I remember the last show tour of the last show one was amazing because they were just like, this is it. And they just pulled out like all the stops and just went crazy.
Yeah, that one was at Roy Wilkins. You can go on YouTube and watch you can watch that show on YouTube.
The whole show's on there now?
Yeah,
I had found some stuff a while back, but I didn't know the whole show was on there.
I have it on like VHS or something. I found some copy of it in somewhere, some time. I'm like, oh,
probably at Down in the Valley,
something like that. I'm like, oh, St. Paul. Wait, oh, I was there. Awesome, that was a great show. So I bought it, but now I don't own a VHS player. So
yeah, as I say, it's easier to it's like easy to have a VHS tape, but can you find anything to play it on?
I remember to be honest, I've been looking up, and they're still really expensive. I kind of was thinking they wouldn't be so much anymore, but a box that you can convert analog to digital. I used to have one years and years ago. So I thought, because I think I have a copy of Every Hit's a Slap in the Face on VHS. Right. And so if anything, like, if I got one of those, if they were cheap, I would just pick one up without thinking about it. But I'd be able to and I'd buy a VCR, and then I would just, be able to put that on the computer and have a digital copy of it.
Right.
So, and I don't remember if I have a Saturday the 14th or not. I don't think I do, but
No, because I think, or like on VHS or like a digital.
yeah, on VHS. On VHS.
Okay. Yeah,
You
that
might.
I don't know. It's doubtful if I would have one. Even
I might.
I would.
Ooh.
I would better. I would. There's a better chance that I still have the original camcorder tapes than to have a VHS.
But that's not all edited and complete then, right?
That would be
That's
it would
raw.
be all the raw. It would be all the raw
Dude.
footage.
Dude,
I could do a
load it up,
re-edit.
re-edit, like punch it up, give it some new life, man.
I would have to go find a cable that I could hook that camera to my computer now, because that was all FireWire and everything back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you can find FireWire to whatever USB-C
Well, I think
or
it
USB-A.
I think this was old school, like USB, like to FireWire cable. So I would have to have,
You'd have to have a USB to FireWire cable.
I'd have to have a USB A to USB C cable or something. I'd have to figure it out. I'm sure I could go to anywhere and find a cable that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, they're out there.
And if I couldn't find a cable, I'd be able to find a cable that I could use and a converter. So, but that would
a dongle.
Yeah,
a dongle.
I'd have to get me a dongle. But yeah, I mean, because I think for a long time too, you were the only person that ever had a VHS copy of the Claymation, and if you don't have that anymore, I think that's dead and gone.
Yeah, something happened to that. I couldn't tell you what. I don't know if like someone else at because I was still at my parents' house, obviously. So I don't know if someone else grabbed the tape and taped over it with something else or something. But I have like, because I had a few tapes where I taped some stuff off of TV, like the Conan O'Brien's 10th anniversary episode of his late night show I had on VHS for a while. But I was pretty careful to make sure I didn't tape over something like the Claymation video or something.
Right.
But so I went through, I combed through like other VHSs I had of stuff off of TV, and I never found it. So I'm guessing it wound up in the hands of someone else that maybe recorded over it with something they were recording. I have no idea.
Or somebody borrowed it and it disappeared, or lots of things could have happened. It's been a long time.
It's been over 20 years.
That is true. Because that was from high school.
High school. All right.
That's twice. So we're good.
I know. Well, we're good with one, but why not?
Yeah.
Double
down.
I mean, Matt,
now we can skip an episode.
This is can we? They mentioned high school twice. This is good for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we can skip mentioning it next week.
Skip mentioning for next. I thought you meant we'd just skip an episode.
Skip an entire episode.
Let's mention high school 10 times and then we can take a break.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt, this is a high school podcast, so we surprisingly talk very little about high school on this podcast, considering its name.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason for that? What are you avoiding? What are you trying to hide? What are you ashamed of?
My shame. I'm trying to hide my shame.
For some reason, I thought it'd be funny if someone got hurt when they're like, "Ow, my pain."
That's what they yell.
They're like, "Yeah, oh, my pain." Yeah,
like they
just
hurt
like
their pain.
It was similar to you saying that, like, "What are you ashamed of?" Oh, my shame. Well, yes.
Yeah, it is similar but different all at the same time.
That's what I call that different.
Do you?
Yeah.
Before this moment, you've used that,
or dissimilar. What do you think's better, different or dissimilar?
Ooh, that's tough. They're both pretty great.
Yeah. I think since the term would be similar but different, you probably have to start with similar. So you'd have to say it's different.
Different.
Or simmerant, but that sounds like an agent that helps something simmer. Like add the simmerant.
It's all good stuff.
Matt,
it's tough to choose. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Cool.
Let's say you have DirecTV.
Okay, this is already starting off as a bad question because it's a statement. But go ahead.
Yeah. No. Okay. Let's say you have DirecTV, but you don't like turn on your DirecTV box and watch whatever's being broadcast at the moment on one of your DirecTV channels or in your
Like live
DVR.
television.
Let's say, or even on your DVR. Let's say
Okay.
you watch shows primarily through apps, and you
Mhm.
get access to the programming on those apps by using your DirecTV subscription login, right?
Okay.
What would you call that? What do you think is the most logical term for watching television in this way?
For watching television through apps, well, like streaming?
Via your DirecTV subscription.
So you're looking specifically for what you would call it if you're using your DirecTV subscription to watch streaming services through other
Correct.
apps.
Yes.
Is there an actual name for this, or are you asking what I would personally call it?
I want to know if you'll come up with the same awesome term that I came up with for this.
I really doubt I would. So DirecTV streaming, but not watching actual DirecTV service. Indirect TVing. I have no fucking clue.
Indirect TV.
Indirect TV. Okay, there you go.
That was it.
Wow, we are. Yeah, okay. We're similar.
I was hoping. We're different.
We're so different.
I was hoping that you were not going to come up with it, and I was going to be able to reveal it to you, and you were going to be floored.
Well, failure.
Nope, that didn't happen.
No, I mean it was right there. I mean, the answer was right.
It kind of writes itself, right? It kind of writes itself, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
Anyway, that was a
Right,
lot of
right.
taffy to pull for very little payoff. But
Yeah.
you know what? This is what we're doing today. I'm operating off of little sleep, and I've just spent 7 hours in the car.
Yeah, we're just here pulling our taffy.
Yeah, I'm yanking on my taffy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm yanking, like vigorously yanking that taffy right now, Matt. Can you tell? My taffy is getting.
I mean, the craziest thing.
Yanked.
You're very motionless.
Well, if you concentrate and isolate your movement
Right.
to the area that needs it, you can
Right.
It reduces a lot of unnecessary muscle strain.
Right. You do most of your taffy yanking mentally?
No.
Oh.
I just isolate and focus on only using the muscles that are required to yank taffy.
Gotcha. Okay. So you've just really taken the time to study exactly the minimal amount that you would have to do, and you've practiced it so you can. I mean, you're basically a professional taffy yanker at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile, Matt.
Yeah, I guess.
No, it's not a. Yeah, I agree with you. It's fact. At least that's what dumb people say. I've heard people say it before.
Anything can be a fact.
A proven fact. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah. Not just no. Yeah, I know about facts, Matt.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. You know. I know about facts. What a statement.
Matt, if I know about anything, it's facts.
Yeah,
all right?
It's facts. I'm well versed in facts, pal.
Did I write about facts? Did I write about that exact thing in one of my newsletter editions?
The facts thing?
Yeah, did I? I thought I might have.
No, I think you have maybe brought it up in here before about the facts versus proven fact. Anything can be a fact versus a proven fact. I think that's
maybe I think
that's from podcasting.
Oh, guess what though? On one of the previous episodes, I had guessed that the episode that Eric was on, where we talked about aliens, was episode 10.
Okay.
It's episode 9. I was that close.
All right. You didn't let me guess.
I wasn't going to.
Well, you said guess what? And then you just told me.
Well, guess what doesn't generally mean I'm asking you to guess something. It just means it's kind of like a way to say, listen to me. You know? Guess what means listen to me.
I mean,
How many times have you said guess what, or someone else has said guess what, and then they follow it up with, how many times do you think this happened? And then you actually am trying to get a guess out of them.
every time I say guess what, I just wait.
You just wait for them to guess.
Yep.
So because
At least one.
Typically you say guess what, and then the other person says what, and then you go on with whatever you wanted to say.
And then I'm just like, you're right.
Yeah, I was going there. Yep. You did that. You did it to me again, Matt.
I know you too well. And it's not, it's not even that. It's not even I know you too well. It's just our sense of humors are way too synced at this point. We have the same sense of humor cycle.
You
were about to go there too.
Yep. As soon as you mentioned our sense of humor as being so similar, I thought of cycling up. I'm like,
yep.
And then you said it. Is this something to be? Is this something to be happy about, or something to be ashamed of, or not proud of?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been so synced up, though.
I know. Well, it's hard to. Maybe it's because I was just in Chicago.
I mean, it's because of what? Because I'm in Chicago?
Maybe it's because I was just in Chicago. Maybe
because you were just in Chicago.
Being in close proximity, closer proximity than normal. Maybe my body
could be, because I was gonna literally say it has something to do with you being in Omaha, but
nope.
Change the name to Omaha because you're so funny today.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
We don't have to end it if you don't want to. I just thought, wow, I need to cut him off now. He's had too much. That was awful.
Oh, it's amazing how we could be so in sync and then immediately out of sync.
Right? Yeah. That I think I was trying to put you out of your misery on that Omaha bit. Yeah.
Oh, that was not terrible, Sean.
It was.
Wow, Omaha. Wow, terrible. Bye.
It was terrible.
Yeah, you just said it. It's bad.
Listen back. Bye. You'll find that you said it first. Are we going now?
Are
we going now?
Well, bye. Yeah, let's say bye. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, bye. Bye.
Bye.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HS Famous Pod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.